Hello and welcome to yoga. We're going to start seated. So I recommend sitting with your hips on a folded blanket or a cushion or a yoga block if you have one. But no worries if you don't have anything like that. Go ahead and reach back and shift your sit bones back and broad, so that your low belly can tilt forward, creating space in the low back. And then lengthen through your sides. Roll your shoulders backwards a couple of times. And then draw your shoulders onto your back and lengthen through the back of the neck. Let your hands rest on your thighs or your knees. And then close your eyes and begin to take a deeper breath. As you slow down your inhale and your exhale, feel your muscles start to relax. Let your face and your jaw soften. Feel your shoulders melting down and away from your ears. Let your hips be heavy as you sink a little deeper into your mat. Notice where your feet connect with the floor. And then draw your hands together at your heart in Anjali Mudra. Press your palms into one another and let your thumbs come in towards your heart. Take a big inhale and lengthen through your spine. And exhale, bow your forehead down towards your hands. Take a full breath here. Softly open your eyes and release your hands to your legs. Then draw your shoulders back. Take right ear to right shoulder. Inhale back to center, left ear to left shoulder. Take your head side to side a few times. And then with your head back in center, tuck your chin down towards your chest and take a shake of your head no down towards the ground. And with your chin tucked towards your chest, take a little nod towards the floor. Then inhale and come back up to your tall seat. You're going to take your right hand and walk your fingers out at your side. Press the tips of your fingers into the floor. Your left hand is going to start to press your left hip into the ground. And then draw both shoulders back as you lengthen through the top of your head. You can bend into your right elbow or walk your fingers a little bit farther out. But start to take left hand up towards the ceiling and over ear, leaning to the right as far as that feels comfortable. Reach through your fingers and take a big breath. On your next inhale, come back up to a tall seat. You're going to walk your left hand out and press your fingers into the floor. Right hand is going to help root your right hip to the ground. Then draw both shoulders back. Take your right hand up overhead And bend into your left elbow or walk your hand a little farther out. Lean over to the left. Still pressing your right hip down. Take one more big breath. Good. Then use an inhale to come back up to your tall seat. We're going to bring our footprints to the floor out in front of us and take your feet a little wide. And then you're either going to bring arms around your knees and take a hold of your hands, or just bring your hands to your knees, so whichever is comfortable. Draw in your low belly, start to round through the spine, look down towards the ground, and take a big breath into your back body. Really tilting back with the pelvis, reaching back, almost leaning back. Take one more big breath. Good. Then inhale to lift to a tall seat. Let's go ahead and put any blocks aside if you have those. We're going to move to hands and knees. So you can put something underneath your knees here if you'd like. But make sure your knees are right underneath your hips and line up your wrists so they're underneath your shoulders. Press your hands into the ground and grip the ground with your fingers. From here, slide your right foot back, your toes are on the floor, and you're going to start to pulse back and forth. So you're stretching your calf as you press back and pressing off the toes as you come forward. Really working through your ankle and your lower leg here. Good. Inhale, bring that knee to the ground. Switch sides. Left toe slide back. Then start to pulse back and forth. Stretch your calf as your heel comes back. Engaging your entire leg as you press forward. Good. Then bring that knee back to the ground. We're going to take our knees wide, hips back towards your heels. Walk your hands out in front of you and take a child's pose. Unless that's not comfortable, you could keep your hips lifted. You could put a blanket between your thighs and your calves. You can always modify for your needs. Let your forehead rest on the floor or a prop. Good. Take one more breath here. On your next inhale, you're going to press yourself back up to your tabletop position. Reset yourself. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Then press your hands into the ground and grip the ground with your fingers. You're going to tuck your toes and lift your hips up and back into a downward facing dog. And start to pedal out your legs. Bend one knee at a time as you send your opposite heel down towards the floor. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Good. And then come to stillness in your legs. Bend your knees a little bit more and reach your hips away from your shoulders. On your inhale, you're going to walk forward, coming to your forward fold. If you have blocks or a step stool, you can use that here. Then exhale, hinge at your hips and fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen to a half forward fold. Bring your hands to rest above your slightly bent knees. Draw your shoulders back and lengthen through the spine. Then exhale, try to hinge at your hips as you fold again. Good. Take a big bend to your knees. Your arms are going to go wide. Press your feet to the floor and use your booty to come up to standing. Hands are going to come up overhead and reach through your fingers towards the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. Good. Inhale and reach. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen to your half forward fold. Exhale, you're going to put any blocks aside, plant your hands, and step back to downward facing dog. Good. Take a little sway of the hips side to side so that you're lengthening from your hip to your armpit on the right and on the left. And then hips back in center. You're going to bring your knees down to the ground. I'm going to take them close together if that feels okay. Hips back towards your heels unless you'd rather keep your hips lifted. Walk your hands out in front of you and let your forehead come down to the ground or maybe a block. Take this variation of child's pose, or you could do a different variation if that feels better. With our legs close together, as we breathe, we are pressing our abdomen up against our legs, which is really good for your digestion. Take one more full breath. Good. On your next inhale, you're going to walk your hands towards your legs and come up to a kneeling position. And then bring your hips down to the ground and your feet out in front of you. Now, you can sit on the edge of a blanket if you have one, but if you don't have one, no problem. So from here, what I'm going to have you do is you're going to bend your right knee and let it come down to the ground out in front of you. So you want your knee right out from your hip. And then you're going to bend that knee so that your shin is lined up with the front of your mat. So a nice 90-degree bend in your right leg. And then you're going to lean over to the right, take your left leg out at your side. So you want your left knee coming directly out from your hip. And then you're going to bend your left knee so that your shin is in line with the edge of your mat. And then from here, I want you to lift up tall. You're going to start to walk your hands forward and lean forward over your right leg. Now you want to be able to fold just straight down the midline of your mat. So if you start to kind of go to one side or the other, just stop right there and take some big breaths. Otherwise, you can slowly let yourself fold as far as that feels comfortable over your right leg. Maybe working down to forearms, or if you have blocks, you can move down to blocks. Good. Nice full breaths here as we let our muscles stretch. On your next inhale, you're going to walk your hands back towards your hips, lift yourself back up to a tall seat. We're going to take your right hand out at your side, fingers pointing away from you, your left hand to your left hip. And then you're going to help roll that left hip forward. Draw your shoulders back as you start to look over to the right as far as that feels comfortable, and take a big breath. Good. Then inhale to come back. Use your hands to help bring your footprints to the floor out in front of you. We're going to do our other side. So bend your left knee, let it come down to the ground, right out from your hip. And then line up your shin Straight line of your shin with the front of the mat. Lean to your side. Take your right knee directly out from your hip at your side. And then again, bending that knee so you have your shin in line with the edge of your mat. And then from here, you're going to come back to center. Start to fold over your front knee. Now take some big breaths and take your time. As you breathe, your muscles will release a little bit more. If you start to waver to one side or the other, just stay right there and take some big breaths. You don't have to fold very far to feel this stretch, but you can fold as far as that feels good in the body for you. Good. Take 2 more big breaths right here. Then inhale, press yourself back up. You're going to take your left hand out from your hip, fingers pointing away from you, right hand to your right hip. And then you're pressing on the back of the hip and starting to roll that hip forward, helping stretch through the thigh and the abdomen here. Draw your shoulders back, start to take your gaze over to the left, and then take some big breaths. Good. Then inhale and come back to center. Help work these feet to the floor out in front of you. From here, let's reach our right leg long along the mat, but you can have a bend in the knee here if that helps you stay lifted and tall through your lower back. So you want your low belly coming forward, long through that low back. And then you're going to bend your left knee, let it turn out to the side, and bring your thigh or your foot in towards your thigh. And then you can start to work that heel away from you as you start to stretch. You can stay tall right here, pressing down into the ground by your hips, or start to fold forward, leaning over your leg, taking some big breaths to help the muscles relax. Good. Then inhale, come back up to your tall seat. You're going to take your left hand right by your hip with your fingers pointing away from your hip. And then you're going to bring your right hand to your right hip. What you're going to do is take an inhale and press your left hand, your left knee, and your right foot into the ground to let your hips lift. So inhale, press down to the ground as your hip comes up. You can leave your right hand there or take it up over your ear, reaching through your fingers. Take a big breath. Good. Top hand is going to come back to the hip and very gently let your hip come back to the ground. And then we're going to do our other side. So bring your right foot back in, extend your left foot out in front of you, long or like a nice big bend in the knee, whatever feels better so that you can stay tall. And then you can leave your hands next to your hips to help lengthen through the back, or start to walk your hands forward if that feels comfortable. Keep flexing your left foot, reaching your toes towards your nose. Good. Breathe into the back of your left leg. Then inhale, walk your hands towards your hips, come back up to a tall seat. Bring your right hand just a little bit away from your right hip, fingers pointing away from you. Left hand to your left hip. And then again, use an inhale as you press your foot, your knee, and your hand into the floor. Let your hips lift up off the ground. Draw your shoulders back. And if you'd like, you can take your top hand, your left hand up over ear, reaching through those fingers. Take a full breath. Good. Top hand comes back to your hip, and then very gently release both hips to the ground. Take a comfortable seat. Doesn't have to be cross-legged. It could be cobblers or with your feet out in front of you. Let's draw our hands together at our hearts. Let your eyes close and take a big breath. Honor yourself for taking this break. Namaste.